Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alternative Jargon episode number 54. I'm really hoping, for your sake, that the audio is a little bit better this time around than in the Halloween episode, but thank you to anyone who checked that one out. It was fun. I don't know if anyone heard, this one sort of flew under the radar with everything in our world going on, but we did have a presidential election last week. I was looking for coverage of it. I was looking to see people's opinions and thoughts about the outcome, or the outcome in quotes. I couldn't really find anything. This one sort of flew under the radar. I mean, it is a political thing. Not everybody's political. The election is sort of something that you really do have to study political science and know all of your facts to really get into. So Tuesday night, I was looking for coverage. I wanted to follow along and see who was winning the states and who was losing, and I just couldn't find anything. Nobody was talking about this election. Really quiet, but it is over now. Every basically mainstream news source has called the election for Donald Trump. It is over. It's history. It's going to go in the history books. But I wanted to come on the air today and let you know that there is one media source that has not called this election. I'll give you a second to guess. It is Alternative Jargon headquarters. The Alternative Jargon decision desk does not have enough numbers to yet declare a victor in this election. And as far as I know, we are the only ones who have not. Everyone else has called it, but we really like to ensure election integrity over here. It's just sort of how we do things. Every vote must be counted before we can call the election. I mean, it seems just outrageous that as soon as the polls close in California, it's a blue state. We have not called California yet. We are waiting to count all of those. It might be a while. We actually have not called the 2020 election. So the fact that people are, for 4 years it was, Biden's our president. Kamala Harris is our vice president. We didn't call that race. And we do get a say over here. We don't call that race. All jokes aside, Trump won. It's pretty crazy. And myself, as well as a lot of other people, sort of speculated back in July when he got shot that was wraps. It was all said and done. And that was the truth. He won. Based off of that and based off of many other things. I'm not going to get too much into the election. It's a week old at this point, and we've all aged about 10 times that much in this past week, depending on who you voted for, of course. You either popped champagne to celebrate or you popped it to drown your sorrows, whichever it may be. I said last week I wasn't going to disclose who I voted for. And I'll be honest, I have really had a change of heart because in today's political climate, it's just not safe. Everyone's got a celebrity endorsement. We have not called this race. If I say who I voted for today on the air, it could potentially swing things the other way. I mean, just the other day, I'm scrolling through X and I see a mailbox in some city that's on fire, and we will never get those ballots that were in that mailbox, and for that reason we will never have a victor according to our decision desk. But ladies and gents, this year, with my heart on my sleeve, I got off work on Tuesday, November 5th, and I drove to my polling location. Did not vote early. I like to do it the old-fashioned way. I drove to my polling location, and with my heart on my sleeve, with a chip on my shoulder, I stepped into the booth, I clicked the write-in box, and I wrote Liz Cheney. Now, before I really dive into that decision, I was really disappointed at her polling numbers. Now, she wasn't an official candidate in this election. She was not on the ballot. She was not a candidate. But after she endorsed Kamala Harris, I knew what I had to do. And I really do have a lot of nostalgia from growing up in the late great years of the Bush administration. And, oh, Dick Cheney this, Dick Cheney that. He made money. He's responsible for all these deaths. Look, it's nostalgic, okay? The fact that the Cheneys have sort of been shunned from government, from three-letter organizations, from all this stuff, it really rubs me the wrong way, okay? When someone gives years of service to their country, they really do get their hands dirty. They are in office. They do the dirty work while they're in office. I mean, it doesn't get much more blue-collar, down-to-earth than that. And just everyone's got to get their flowers, hopefully, before they die. What was that one Kanye West lyric? You know, nobody gets you know how it goes. You want your flowers while you're still here. And to the Cheneys, I'm so sorry about the way that everyone just wants to move on from you guys. I mean, that does not really seem fair to me. The Cheneys have a lot left in the tank. Maybe not Dick. Probably not Dick Cheney. He's getting old. And after you're played by Christian Bale in a movie that sheds negative light on you, I mean, there's no coming back. So Dick is done. We're done with Dick. No more Dick in the picture. No more dick pics. But Liz is basically, if you want to go by candidate years, she's like an infant. She is nowhere near as old as Joe Biden. By the way, Biden in his political prime. Same with Trump. Biden is, 82? Trump is 78. So those guys are just in the thick of their best years. And Liz, all of her best years are on the horizon. Hopefully, if everything works out, she can govern our country for years to come. For years to come, whether it is as commander-in-chief or whether it is as vice president with somebody. I mean, following Dick's role. What would you call that? To follow Dick's role in a position would be just legendary for that family. Her campaign slogan, potentially, sloppy seconds. I mean, vice president candidates don't have slogans. They just ride with the one that the main guy goes with. But if Liz Cheney is going to be your main selling point of your cabinet, of your administration, then sloppy seconds might not be bad. Go, hey, 20 years ago, we had a Dick in there, and he did great work for us. He did awesome stuff. The money was rolling. The Middle East was... it was the Middle East. It's largely the same. There's always conflict. We might as well at least be capitalizing and taking advantage of those wars. It's just good business. So I did vote for Liz Cheney. Chip on my shoulder, heart on my sleeve. And unfortunately, she is not polling very well. Didn't do very good. But nonetheless, all you can do is try. And, I've been so happy seeing all of this stuff about peaceful transition of power. The people have spoken, and we will have a new president. And it's America. But one thing I am really looking forward to, though, is there are some people on the left who are not happy about the results and believe that the election was stolen. Now, we've seen this one before, but we haven't seen it from Democrats yet, at least not recently. So, my point is, right now, that Democrat January 6th is a possibility. I don't know what day of the week it will be. Hopefully we can coin a new date, really, sell some merch, stuff like that. If Democrats do decide to do a January 6th, I'll tell you what, man, load up on water, load up on warm clothing and t-shirts, and get your airbrush kit out and go down to DC and make some dough. Look, a lot of people think Trump is going to improve the economy when he gets in there. Whether he does or whether he doesn't, though, the economy is largely still not great for the average American. Nobody can afford anything. So, in the waning years of the Biden-Harris administration, get out there and really sell some merch. Go to DC, sell some water. They're going to need merch. They're going to need water. If they're going to have their own day, just like the Republicans did 4 years ago. I can't believe that was already 4 years ago, by the way. That's crazy. So Trump is going to be president during the World Cup, which takes place in North America, all Canada, Mexico, and the United States. He will be in office for the Summer Olympics, which will be in the United States, and he will be in office for the 250-year celebration of America in a couple of years. What do you call that? A bi-0.5 centennial? Bicentennial and a half? I don't know what the word for that is, but a lot of exciting things coming up for our country. Whether your guy won or lost, or your gal, whatever. We have a lot of fun stuff on the horizon. Now, I don't know what I'm going to title this episode yet. But, all that's been said about the election has pretty much been said. But I am hoping that we do get another insurrection. And I just, more than anything, I want to see the Democrat plan of attack, because the Republican plan of attack was sort of all over the place, kind of spontaneous. Nobody really knows, it seems, who set it up, what the exact catalyst was. I'm not going to take a side on that, but it was an amazing day. It was really an amazing day, that chill afternoon in Washington. More than anything, it's about just, like I said, the strategy, because while the Democratic and Republican parties in our country are definitely two sides of the same coin, they do have a lot of cultural differences, and the people that vote one way or the other, there are a lot of cultural differences. Now, that's just very much a broad thing. Obviously, everyone who votes for some reason or another, and you can't just muted myself. You can't quantify a person's entire life and judge them completely based on who they picked. Definitely can't do that. But on the whole, there are different people on both sides. So the way that they're going to go about accessing the office, accessing the Senate floor, are they going to steal another podium? Or will they pick something else? And what will they be wearing besides the merch that you are going to go sell them? Will they have the horns? Will they have the woolly mammoth horn hat? My favorite was definitely the insurrectionist granny. During that whole thing, there was a very old, elderly woman with, all of her Trump merch on in the Capitol, and she was just kind of hanging out in the lobby by herself, like looking around with just a look of like a dazzling thing, and you still had people going, "This is bad. They're storming the Capitol." Have you seen that grandma's joy? Just joy, I was aware that this was a country where you are guaranteed the opportunity for the pursuit of happiness. And if that means storming the Capitol and, there's going to be some death, obviously. Gosh, nothing fun happens without a little bit of death. Okay? A little bit. But yeah, So Democrats, if no one else will, I give you the green light. Get in there and make something happen. Get those printers working. Honestly, it's been kind of a slow week since the election. Now that Trump won, it's all this stuff like he's building his cabinet. I don't know what that means, but who cares? He won. What's a cabinet? I didn't know that winning the presidency, you were allowed to change the kitchen in the White House. God. But apparently he's building cabinets, something like that. I don't know. But, yeah. You heard it. Maybe I should have kept that mute button on. I had 2 coffees, a little jittery. But you heard it here first. Democrats, go for it. Go for it. I got swatted. Now, this is kind of misleading. It's easier to say I got swatted than what actually happened, though. I mean, it was basically getting swatted. It wasn't the official SWAT team. But on election night, I had work the next day at 7 a.m., so I'm in bed. And it's about 1 a.m., and my dad comes in my room. I still live at home. Thanks, Biden. God. I still live at home. And he comes in my room at 1 in the morning on election night. And he's like, hey, we got to go outside. He's on the phone with a cop. And we got a call. So somebody called the local police department claiming to be a 16-year-old male who murdered his father in the home. And then this person threatened, if the police show up, that he was going to blow the house up. And then he said our street address. It's not clear yet whether this has to do with the election, with my podcast. I don't even know if I should be saying this for the public eye. Because we do have a lawsuit ongoing. That's a joke. I doubt they're going to find who did this, but it did happen. And I'm really hoping that, it was just a random call, a random address. They just felt like saying my exact street name, number, zip code, everything. Hopefully. The odds of that are not great, but you never know. I wasn't aware that if this wasn't random, I wasn't aware I had any enemies like that. And I honestly don't know too many people that really know where I live. The cops actually asked me, and this is not a joke, whenever we were out there, me and my dad hanging out with them, and they knew that, we weren't, this was fake, basically. They did ask if I was playing Call of Duty, and that's not a joke, and I said, no, I wasn't playing Call of Duty. A little bit of Clash Royale, a little bit of DraftKings, but nothing where I thought I would have to fear for my life. It really wasn't that serious. It was kind of just, I was half awake. I was a zombie. I had work in a few hours, and I was going to do whatever I had to get back to bed. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We walked out of the house, and they shut our whole street down. There were probably 6 or 7 police cruisers. And the second we walked out of our house, obviously, hands up, and probably 10 flashlights on us, and those flashlights were connected to rifles. So really fun stuff. It was really cool. We got halfway down our driveway and had a bunch of lights on us and stuff, and then we had to lift up our shirts and spin, so to ensure that we did not have any weapons. But like I said, once they figured out that it was a fake call, we talked about Call of Duty. I said, no, sir, I'm not a Twitch streamer. Usually this type of thing happens to people with more power and influence, and I don't have either of those things. So why is this happening? Usually you get swatted, and it's a Twitch streamer who hasn't left their house in 20 days. And the SWAT team has to come in, and they start shooting all of the empty DoorDash trash that's just strewn throughout the house of this streamer. I can only imagine the smell, by the way, when a streamer gets swatted. Because these people don't they don't leave their house. I hope they have good ventilation. Some of those Twitch streamers, when they get swatted, they probably have to send in the bomb unit just so that the guy has the big airtight helmet on or whatever, so he won't smell the roaches and the empty Taco Bell online exclusive cravings boxes that still have half of a 5-layer burrito in them laying around. I know how these people probably operate. Now, I'm not saying my house is just the epitome of cleanliness. That's definitely not true. Everyone's got their dirt, but nonetheless, we waited outside. Probably about 6 of the cops went in to search the house. They just said, hey, we know this is pretty much a fake call, but we do have to go in and search just to make sure there's nothing there. We said, of course, we are we don't have bombs, so they went in and searched, and it was all good, and we got to go back to bed. But definitely a little bit of a shock. I did miss work the next day because I just got no sleep. It's not easy to get no sleep and then go to an office job. I definitely would have passed away either behind the wheel, on the way to work, on the way home from work, or just in my cubicle, probably from exhaustion. There's no amount of monster energy that can keep up. Within the legal threshold, at least. But, yeah, interesting story. I don't know. My guess, if I had to guess, would be it's because I voted for Liz. It's because I voted for Liz Cheney. Somebody out there who doesn't like the military-industrial complex and doesn't like war and basically doesn't like everything that makes us American probably found my write-in vote, and they decided to attack. Once again, that's just speculation. I don't want to spread misinformation. I'm more of a disinformation guy. You remember that whole debate a couple years ago? We couldn't figure out what either of those were. I still don't really know. But I do know that we love all of it. So, fun times, really exciting election nights. I just wish I didn't have work the next day. That would have really been the cherry on top. If I could have sat there and watched, the Fox News touchdown graphic whenever Trump wins, because that's, I love those graphics. There was one where they do a whole cutaway sequence, Brett Baier sitting up there with Gutfeld and whoever all those freaking Fox guys are. And I know I didn't watch Fox the whole night. I was switching back and forth because it is interesting to see whose decision desk has or has not called certain states yet. They're all using different statisticians and all that junk, so it is kind of variable in that way. But anyway, the Fox News has the best graphics for when something big happens in the election. They had a whole cutaway from their board of people sitting in the studio, a whole cutaway to like a green screen 3D After Effects, professionally done cinematic intro thing that's, it like zooms out and then like it zooms into the Capitol and then it's giant red text that says Republicans gain Senate control. And it really did. That was awesome. Even if I don't care who wins. But man, I love me some good graphics. I did reach out to Rupert Murdoch. Want to see who his graphics guy is. Haven't heard back yet. I will keep you guys in the loop with that. But, if we could get something like that on this show, that'd be really cool. If I could announce who I'm voting for, and then it's a cutaway shot, and giant text comes in. Liz Cheney, like rockets fly in the back. There's a mushroom cloud raising in the back. Really trying to get on that. So, Mr. Murdoch, reply to your email. I could probably throw something together on my own, but I do have a lot of other things going on, like being the most trusted source of election coverage. I don't have time to be playing with After Effects all day. And I probably don't have the right plugins. So, I didn't see any plugins about, warheads. Nuclear ones, not the candy. That would be really cool, though, Liz Cheney, 2028. Explosions, cha-ching noises. You can hear cash registers opening. But day one, Liz Cheney's in office. Hopefully I'll be appointed to her cabinet. We'll have to wait on that one too. I've got a couple emails I sent that I'm awaiting replies to. Mr. Murdoch, Miss Cheney. Should have maybe CC'd Dick. Forgot to CC Dick. That's why I haven't heard back. But, yeah, day one in office. Maybe I can... is there a role for just White House decorator? Because I know Melania doesn't like to do that job. She's going viral right now because obviously she's First Lady again. Just peeled some rubber off my shoe. She's back in the headlines because I guess she didn't like her role in decorating the White House with Christmas stuff. But I would love to do that job under Cheney. And I think in the Oval Office they have a big rug or something that has obviously the presidential seal. Day one, that's out of there. And look, I am a pragmatic person. I want the average middle-class worker to have as much money in their account as they possibly can, which is why we need to get the wars going. So with the rug, I think we take it out back behind the White House, call in some professional cleaners, have them scrub it down while I record. We use that video for ASMR. That generates ad revenue on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, and we give that money back to the taxpayer. Obviously, after that, we go burn the rug. We don't want the presidential seal to resemble anything out of the past, really. We bring in a new rug. This one has Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all of the logos that truly align to our American values, and they sit there in the White House, and you walk on them, you look at them in the morning, and you give them a salute, and you go, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. If we are not involved in conflict directly, if there aren't American boots on the ground in a country that we can't point to on a map, and we are not building weapon systems, we aren't in an arm race with other people, then what kind of culture have we been building in this country for the past 50 years? I was aware that we were winners, and we win, and we go, and there might be death. There's always a little bit of death. Like I said, it's a small price to pay for our continued reign as the top G. To quote the modern philosopher, Mr. Andrew Tate, the top G. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, yeah, I will keep everybody in the loop with our election results over here. Let you know if we find anything else out about about California going red. Still have not called California. Have not called Alabama red either. Alabama could be blue. Waiting on every vote. So, anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And yeah, it's time to launch the 2028 campaign. So let's get on the trail. And I will add the CC to those emails, Mr. Murdoch and Miss Cheney. Goodbye. See you later.
We will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Write that down. Write that down.